and welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Well, the focus this time is going to be inwards. We're going to be taking a look at how news is covered by the media. And in fact, we've been seeing the whole hullabaloo over the Sushant Singh Rajput case that became a drug case, that became a God knows what case at the end of it. But off late, at least with the Hathras rape incident, I think has shocked the entire nation and even our TV channels, I think, into reporting something that needs to be reported, that has got the public all worried. But having said that, is our focus right? What are we talking about these days? Has COVID, especially with the limelight so much on our television channels, are we getting a narrative right, or do we really need to take a look within? Joining me on the roundtable is Kaveri Bamzai. She's an author and columnist and a commentator. Dilip Cherian, he is an image guru. Shantanu Gupta, he is a commentator and of course he's the author of Yogi, a biography on the UP Chief Minister. Abhinandan Sekhri, he is the co-founder and CEO at News Laundry. Abhinandan, since you are known to be provocative, so I think I'm going to let you set the tone of this conversation. I've been seeing you also talk a lot since you really keep an ear. You do what is called a media critique. So, what have you made of the last month at least, if not more? The way the news has been covered, the whole Bollywood drama, and now are you finally glad that we are focusing on issues that matter, or you feel that not really?
Well, whenever we do speak about the media as one monolith, it is often unfair, and like in many other cases, not all, but many other cases, is a bit inaccurate. So there is media and then there is media. There are many people who do, report on and discuss and deliberate on issues that are of significance, of importance, and they do it in a fairly accurate and journalistic way. And there are many who don't. Overwhelmingly, structurally, I think the problem is what the model of news. And recently News Laundry itself had started this campaign about a year ago, Bloodlust TV. And there are examples all over the world, in more liberal and democracies where the collective conscience is a little more heightened, where a sportsman who takes a knee will not be told, Nikal ja Pakistan ke liye khel. I mean, just imagine if a cricketer were to do that, BCCI, Mr. Shah and Sons would never let him play again. But the point is that if even such a hateful organization as Fox, when they cross a line of anti-Semitism, immediately one of their shows was stripped of all advertisers in a day. Breitbart lost a whole bunch when they crossed the line. Here, lines are crossed every day, advertisers don't withdraw. So we ran a campaign called Bloodlust TV. We called out Amul, we called out Yogi Ji's government. So I think their main attention is only to fund the most hateful content they can get. But no matter who's funding the content, when eyeballs is your metric, your news is inevitably going to go down this way. It doesn't matter who's in power or who's in government. It's not like those Bharat Nirman ads are doing anything. Ho Raha Bharat. And you remember those when India was going to the shits and Mr. Manmohan Singh and Sonia Ji? Of course, now those same people who criticize that, those same people will bajao tali when Modi Ji's face comes. But the structure is flawed either way, because what determines revenue? Ads. What determines ads? Eyeballs. What determines eyeballs? The kind of tamasha that Arnabs and all do. Have you seen that Bhandari chap? How he does, hey, dekhe, wo dekhe. And by the way, just so you know, even while we're recording this at 5 o'clock, Jantar Mantar mein jo ho raha hai, Republic has got their own little mandali to take Sushant Singh Rajput protest over there, which is actually a Hathras protest which was called over there. So you will see there also the same nonsense happening. I mean, we are under no illusion that it will go away.
My sigh of relief is a bit premature, you think?
Oh, definitely premature. Abhi to, until the model changes to a more, a model which has several revenue streams and it is not only determined by eyeballs. Till then, news cannot improve. And when it is eyeballs is your only metric, reality shows are the biggest eye catchers the world over. It is not just an India thing, anywhere in the world. So every channel will become a reality show.
Then, Kaveri, everyone is to blame. It happened during the UPA, it's happening now. It's, maybe it's happening a lot more now, but the trend was not something that has begun recently, clearly.
Yeah, and I think the point is that it's the tone of television news that's changed. When you talk about news, not noise, actually everything is noise. Whether you look at the Home Shopping Network ads early in the morning, or you look at the way they address the Sushant Singh Rajput headlines, or the way they address the Hathras headlines, the tone of news is the same. It's that outrage, that shouting. So sometimes it's actually quite difficult to tell what the headlines are, because the way of treating news, and it's supposed to be, I suppose, clutter breaking and, catching attention. Therefore, all this, the moving camera and the moving journalist, So I think that is one point, that regardless of what the headlines are, the fact is that news has become noise, and it's become noisier and louder, and the shoutier you are, the better it is. The second, I think, which I really want to highlight is this lack of experts. In a country as vast as India, the same people who are experts in, say, a Sushant Singh Rajput case are also called upon to speak on the Hathras rape case. Have we such a shortage of domain experts in a country like India that we have to rely on the same handful of people to talk about everything? That is what worries me. That's a huge gap, I think, that we have to address as journalists, as as editors, that we haven't expanded our pool of talent. We haven't, and that has come from a lack of investment in issues like this. Why don't we have more in-depth reporting on UP? When we look at Hathras, why do we look at it only in terms of rape? It is also a question of the law and order in UP. Why don't we have more data on how these things are panning out in UP? There are individual journalists who are doing tremendous work. You can read them on Twitter. You can read them in independent websites. Why don't these people figure on our 9 o'clock news? No, you'll have the same lot of former policemen, lawyers, Supreme Court advocates who are saying the same old thing. That's the second point that worries me. And I think the third thing, of course, I think it's a question of being obsessed with personalities in this day and age. Everything becomes about the personalities. Yesterday it was Rahul and Priyanka. Today it becomes Derek O'Brien. Tomorrow it'll be someone else trying to get into Hathras. Why is this obsession with people? And the fourth point is really worrying, is exactly what the Hathras DM said, that, today the media is here, tomorrow there'll be fewer, and later there'll be even fewer. And there'll be a new headline, and, he's virtually threatening the family that you'll be left with us and we're going to be your only support. That is what is the scariest and the truest part of it, that, we just move from one headline to another like mad sheep. Don't look at anything in depth.
I think, Kaveri, I have a column for you also. Maybe these regular TV windows that are there, who are there in a TV window, no matter what the subject, you should do something on these spotted TV personalities.
Absolutely. We are a republic of the same experts who talk about the same thing,
Quite slip here, Republic. Shantanu, I know the reference to Hathras is going to get you, but the fact is that, as we were discussing, it's maybe it started earlier, but definitely in recent times, this has been taken to a notch much higher. This whole using television news as a distraction from issues that are really important.
See, first of all, I think I find this phenomena worrisome that the same people which we validate our governments through, they all vote. But again, if they validate the news through Newsbox, they become stupid. All the people who can speak good English can go to Khan Market, buy books from Bhari Sangh, they will decide what the news will be, right? So I think if we believe the same set of people for voting and based on first past the poll system, let's believe the BARC ranking. If we are not getting enough TRP, let's not be sour about it, right? Let's discover content and produce good content. See, I think viewer is also smart. Right? They have chose government. They have chose Congress when they chose BJP, right? Similarly, they're choosing the channels also very smartly. When they're reading a news laundry, they know what they're reading. When they're reading a Swaraj Mag or Op India, they know what they're reading. They also know the news light somewhere between. I'm saying I'll do a 9 p.m. Hindi experiment. Watch NDTV Hindi Ravish Kumar. You will think India is dead, and you will be, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. Just switch the channel to Sudhir Chaudhary's eating. Right? You'll say, oh, there's hope. Right? So maybe viewer knows the news light somewhere in between. So I'm saying, let's not discredit. People are smart. I see a lot of people, people are stupid. They just only go by highlights. If Sushant Singh Rajput's case is important, it's important. It's not only about murder. It's about drugs racket. It's about a lot of things. Pedophile, it's coming up. People want to know that. So let them know it. So let's say about Hathras. The data says 95 and 100 rapes a day, right? 10 happens in UP. Okay. What about the other 90? Why don't we report it? And in the morning broadcast, we're talking about UP faced this problem of doorstep reporting, right? And even Balrampur, which is far, maybe it's not the convenient because the culprits are Muslim. Nobody's talking about Balram much. But here, there's a caste angle. This is very convenient. West Bengal, the Dur, it's very far. 2 tribal girls, just imagine this in UP. 2 tribal girls, 14 and 16, raped, they consumed poison. One of them died, not a news. Derek O'Brien, I don't know what is he doing in UP. I don't know how much of UP does he understand. Is it not politics? And he can go wherever he wants to go. West Bengal, and just listen to this example. West Bengal, one CPM woman was found hanging inside the party office in Thiruvananthapuram. It's not a news. Imagine this is in BJP office in any part of India. So
I'm not sure whether it's just BJP or Congress, because we saw Mulayam Singh being taken apart on the boys will be.
But again, in Kerala,
I'm trying to figure what does this have to do with what we discussed.
Print news somewhere, but it's not a news. It's not a news. I'm saying do these experiments yourself. Do a Akhlaq case, search a Akhlaq case in any portal, right? And do a Kamlesh Tiwari case. The number of words, the number of minutes of footage, you will imagine which way the bias is. So I'm saying let's not be naive about it that, oh, we are all neutral. We all have our point of view. And the reader is also very smart. What is he reading and what is he watching? So I think I rest my case there.
The viewer is the one, given the fact, I mean, I'm not really going into the content of what the thing, but the viewer is the one who decides. And if the viewer wants to watch these channels, and Dilip, are you and I wrong in coming and saying that what are they all showing?
You could say that, but I think that what we started with is, why is news like this? That is the big question. And the news is like this because this is what gets channels money. And, Shantanu may say that viewers have decided what to watch, but, it is normal in any country that certain kinds of issues will create this, drama moments, dramatic moments, which may or may not be content, but which have either Bollywood or cricket or rape or any of these things. So those are the things which drag eyeballs and advertisers alongside. Will this change? The real worry is that today advertising agencies who are measuring purchasing are noticing that purchases don't take place. Actual consumers don't take buy decisions when there is a feeling of being hemmed in by either hate, anxiety, or worry. So is this a reason for good news to triumph? I'm not so sure, but all I'm saying is that at this point of time, there is a possibility of an inflection point if enough advertisers, free of worry about what government will do to them, can actually worry about what the market is doing to them. And this will happen when sales are a problem. In the economy as we see it coming up, when demand is going to be down and companies are going to be attempting to get consumers to do the buy decision, then they may need to switch advertising from only one kind of channel to multiple channels to try and get different eyeballs, whether it is a Sudhir Chaudhary eyeball or whether it is a Ravish Kumar eyeball. So this is one aspect. While we are sitting and berating media, let me just say one thing, that the real discovery of media in the last few days has been the kind of amazing reporting that women reporters on the ground are doing. To my mind, that is a ray of hope, that you're seeing a new kind of reporter who's untrammeled by the anxiety about power or some caste equation, and is going there and asking questions. So it's not all darkness. There are some rays of light, and this is one.
The ray of light, Abhinandan, is not the mainstream media. It's from social media, I guess, most of the...
But not social media. I have a lot of hope. I have done a full session on this, on how the internet and digital media is going to kind of get journalism back purely because of its revenue model. Like I said, the structure has to incentivize and reward good reportage. When the incentives, and that is basic economic theory for anything, when the basic incentives are for something that will reduce the quality of what you're doing, then everyone is going to go down that way. Now, let me come to a few things that Shantanu said. I mean, it was a classic whataboutery, and I'm not sure what it had to do with news versus noise. First of all, did you use the word pedophile, by the way?
Yeah.
Where did you get that from? I mean, this is what I mean. Like, there is no such angle.
That's coming in Sushant Singh Rajput case.
So tell me, where did this come from? You said it is coming. Where is it coming from?
I can share you links.
No, tell me right now. You have made a very serious accusation that this involves sex with children.
ABC.
I mean, what I'm saying is, can you
search yourself? Sushant Singh Rajput's case, pedophile, you'll get links yourself. Don't also.
Is that why you do your research before you come to this panel? You just Google
check it. Send some people outside Delhi. Send them to Mumbai. Let them face some heat and dust.
My people face heat. This is the problem. You can come on panels and say anything. And then you say,
find out very soon.
Now let me finish. One second.
Wait, take a break. Find out very soon. Very soon. CBI is there.
Let him finish, then we'll get.
Clearly, you have a direct access. Okay, now let me finish.
You'll find out very soon.
I got my answer. Check on the internet. Secondly, now, the thing is, this is not a question of people are stupid or people are smart. No one said people are stupid. This is classic strawman argument, and this is what I'm saying is the caliber of conversations around this is social media caliber. No one said people are stupid. Did anyone here say people are stupid? But the conversation, but you cannot say people are stupid. Who said people are stupid? No one even said that. What I'm saying is how conversations happen now is, मैंने Twitter पे देखा था तो मैं अभी बोलूँगा इसके बारे में. भाई वो बोलो जो हम बोल रहे हैं ना. अभी there is completely disconnect in what we talk about. Now let me come to what eyeballs and when people watch content or consume anything, what they are looking for, and when they vote, what they are looking for. To have one brush to measure everything, then Shantanu, what is the most consumed thing, content, all over the world? Can you tell me?
Please stop this KBC with me. Now, if you have an argument, make it.
Okay. Okay. I'll tell you porn is the most used content by far. By all these are news websites that you mentioned. They are just hate websites. But porn outstrips all of them. Let me finish my piece.
Shantanu and Abhinandan, let's not both of you get personal. Abhinandan, you discussed it.
It was very big editorially.
You finished your piece. Let me finish mine.
It was very big editorials. Don't make me comment on that. So you will not decide if India is hate news or print is. You will not decide.
Go for it. No one is stopping you. Just let me finish what I'm saying. Then you say what you have to say. Let's not talk over each other. It is an unproductive way to communicate, to talk over each other. So
you do anchoring in your show, na? Here, Priyal.
Let him finish and then Shantanu, but try guys not to get personal. This is more.
No one's getting personal. I just referred to someone who doesn't do any reporting, is not a journalistic site. However, porn is the most consumed content. So let's do this. Let's have a tie-up with the Indian democracy that when you get onto this site, भाई वोट डाल दो यार क्योंकि लोग तो अकलमंद हैं लोग बेवकूफ थोड़ी ना है भाई ये तो हुआ कोई is this any quality argument? Of course people are smart and people are stupid. There is no one kind of people. There is no people are this. People can be smart, people can be stupid, people can be self-serving, people can be misled, there can be information asymmetry, there can be a variety of things. So now when it comes to when they are switching on the television, what keeps you engaged? What broke the internet around the world ever since the internet came? Kim Kardashian posing, the serial killer who has Brad Pitt looks. These are the things that broke the internet all over the world. So does that mean people are stupid? People are not stupid or smart. They are curious, they check it out. They see someone doing a tamasha, they check it out. That has nothing to do.
Doing is not endorsements. That's what you're saying.
That has nothing to do with anything. When you incentivize reportage, when you incentivize journalism, then there is the entire industry goes a certain way, and internet and social media has changed things in many ways. I mean, you need a 5-hour conversation around that, but there are many little nuances that happen. Behavioral change happens. There is something called the online disinhibition syndrome. People who would not say things otherwise now are saying that because they don't have to bear the immediate social consequences of that. There's a full cover story that's been done on this by Time Magazine long ago, where they have spoken to psychologists how it makes people engage differently. That is finding its way onto me. That is also one factor that one has to see. But generally, if we are going to do a small, quick discussion and we are just going to identify 2 or 3 things, structurally, the incentives and the rewards have to be for journalism, and right now they're not for journalism. That is all.
Kaveri, Shantanu, you want to wait for Kaveri or you want to react immediately?
I can wait for that.
Kaveri,
Yeah, I think very interesting points that both Shantanu and Abhinandan made, but in very different ways. One, Shantanu's arguments are, of course, the same old, that, Mufassil versus elitism, and therefore this is a move towards Mufassil India getting, its sort of moment in the sun, and all you elitists who thought that you control the media, now you have to listen to this diversity of voices. I really find this argument very facetious, and I think it doesn't work because just as one channel doesn't represent just one point of view, we do have also much more diversity of channels as well. So I don't buy this argument that, finally Mufassil India and the India that we don't know, the Khan Market gang, has finally raised its voice, and that's what you're hearing. And by no account, I think, would Arnab Goswami pass as someone who's not from the Khan Market gang, no matter what he says.
Very frozen for a bit.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So that's one. And I think the second point is, it really flows from what Abhinandan says, is this whole idea that, actually a lot of experts are passing on these conspiracy theories as facts. And once it's said out there, once it's in the public domain, it becomes very difficult to retract it. And it becomes, it gets passed off as fact, and it gets passed off as news. And that is really worrying. What would be shared between a family group or a WhatsApp group then gets passed on as fact. And it's very difficult to then say, no, but let me check it out. And there will always be some link to, for instance, what Shantanu said about pedophilia. I don't know what he's referring to, because even I've tried to follow the Sushant Singh Rajput case very clearly, unless he's referring to Mahesh Bhatt, which has been disproved. But I think the whole idea that you let these little nuclear explosions, and then 5 days later they become headlines. That is again a very worrying thing. And the last point I want to make is that we've forgotten another big headline in this whole argument of Hathras versus Sushant Singh Rajput. For me, the really big headline is the Babri Masjid demolition and nobody being found guilty of it. For me, as a modern Indian who has seen the Babri Masjid falling in front of our eyes, to say that no one was guilty, you could argue that Hathras is a diversion from the Babri Masjid demolition news, which is a diversion, Sushant is a diversion from Hathras or from the economy, from the farm bill. There's no amount of diversions taking place. So I think even what the noise is about is very interesting. And what is the noise hiding? That is the most interesting thing. What is the news that is not being covered is far more interesting than the news that is being covered.
Noise as diversions, Shantanu, that is something that we are seeing more of it these days. The real issues, as I said, are not being covered for whatever reasons,
I know. I don't believe it. I'm saying I do almost 3 shows a day. All 3 are on different topics, and different channels have different line. Let's just see it and take a lot of defense issues. Even in the middle of a Hathras, they did a defense thing 2 days back when nobody's talking about China. They're about talking about China. So every channel, every news portal have their separate people. I think we have to find out or also deliberate who's the, if I can use the Hindi word, Chaudhary of the truth. When is the conspiracy theory? Whose conspiracy theory is real? So when all 32 people are not charged in Babri demolition case, it means that a conspiracy theory was going on against them for the last 30 years, because finally I will believe in the law of the land. That was a conspiracy theory. A lot of people, I'm sure you all must have written it about, right? So was that a conspiracy theory? So I'm saying,
you can't believe that the Babri Masjid just crumbled.
Apart from the court, who decide what's a conspiracy theory? In the absence of the final police report and the court, everything is a conspiracy theory. Then okay, my theory is fine, but your theory is a conspiracy theory. What kind of argument is that?
Even though it may have been witnessed by thousands of people and there were public records, still it's a conspiracy theory.
No. So you think CBI, you are trying to say CBI under Congress, and we all know how CBI function, wanted all these guys to be free. because a lot of those documents are still the same. CBI did not file any new documents in the last 7-8 years.
When institutions don't perform, then, you know, I think it's not just the media. Other institutions also, you know, today we're just talking about the media really. So Dilip, the Chaudhary of the truth, you know, we have a Chaudhary-like character here with Abhinandan's mustache. But Chaudhary of the truth is really what is very interesting. You know, who gets to decide what my truth versus yours, NDTV versus Republic?
You know, when media gets into a white heat like this, the loser is often, as you just said, true. The loser is often also the public at large. Now, switching completely from Hathras and other stuff, if you saw the so-called leader of the free world in open debate with his opponent, you could see that the way media is structured has altered the way leaders communicate. So you might have a leader in India who's attempting, because all the media attempts whataboutery. So you have whataboutery coming out of leaders' mouths, which is actually following the trend that media is setting. To my mind, this makes it even more important to understand why media has become like this and what its consequences are. As I just pointed out, one of the consequences is that leaders begin to play to the new nuances, not nuances, to the new hysteria that media is generating. They recognize that planting one thing or the other is enough to take the media herring off in that direction, whether it is a little Telugu channel or a Malayalam website or a Kashmiri tweeter. The thing is that leaders are now beginning to recognize that this is the way the game is to be played. So you can hide things, you can direct mobs in one direction, and that, to my mind, is dangerous for democracy. When leaders, instead of leading, begin to play the media game, because media is playing the game of eyeballs or trying to make everything the gamification of news, as it were.
Did we learn it from the leaders or the leaders learned it from the media? Something we'll debate again. But thank you all. At this point, I just want to remind our viewers that news, not noise, is actually the tagline of NewsX. And I do hope we lived up to it in this debate at least. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us, and you for watching. Thank you.